your studio.
Yeah. Yeah, inside the last 21 minutes of the SportsMax Zone for this Wednesday, we're back and we're switching our focus now to track and field. The British Virgin Islands were the surprise package at the just concluded CARIFTA Games in Kingston, Jamaica. The BVI finished behind traditional powerhouses, Jamaica and the Bahamas, on the medal table, but ahead of Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana and a lot of other teams who usually win more medals. Their 32-member team garnered 7 medals, 4 gold, 2 silver and a bronze medal for third on the medal table. The 16-year-old Adasia Hodge was not just the star performer for the BVI, but the find of the games. Hodge won the triple in the under-17 category, adding the long jump title to her sprint double success, en route to the coveted Augustine Seeley Award, which is given to the most outstanding performer at the meet. And those impressive performances at CARIFTA 49 has the track and field world buzzing and wanting to know what's next for BVI athletics. Steve Augustine is the president of the British Virgin Islands Athletics Association. He joins us now to help answer that and other questions. Steve, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to see you again. Great to have you in Kingston, Jamaica 2 weekends ago. The hall has been heralded by track and field fans throughout the region, but is it what you expected, and did the overall performance of the team measure up to your expectations?
I can't sit here and say that it's not what we expected. You know, we did our tallies locally on island. We did have a few athletes at the CARIFTA Games that perhaps had better days previously to come in there. So in all fairness, there's 1 or 2 athletes that we had our eyes on our team as well that perhaps would have done better under different circumstances. That was not the case, but we're quite happy with the end result. We were not too surprised. I mean, you know, it's all a gamble. You come, you show up, you compete, and you hope for the best. But, you know, our predictions were pretty close to what we ended up with.
Yeah, would Kroll's effort be one that you were targeting more from?
Jelly Kroll definitely in the sprints, the 100 and the 200s. You know, he's I think he came out 20.7 in December, if I recall right, which is a pretty fast time. You know, definitely one to contend with. He's had a few, how should I put it nicely, a few things to deal with coming into the CARIFTA Games. But he's back here with us. He's back on the track. He's training, and we know that World Under 20 is coming up, and that's his next aim. We also had the likes of Kaiba Dawson. He was a silver medalist last year in 2019 in the under 17 boys long jump. He already came out this year at our high school sports, 7.56 meters in the long jump. We definitely knew that he was definitely one to look out for. He's also gone 21.16 in the 200. So we know that, you know, had he been fit and ready to go, he definitely would have been one to contend with in both events, the long jump and the 200-meter run. We had a few others there as well. We had a Gabriel Klein. He contested the long jump, but his better event was the triple jump. But because of school requirements, he had to fly out Sunday evening, which I think was the very same evening the triple jump was contested. So, you know, we perhaps may have lost a few medals there. We'll be back again next year with the aim of collecting what we left.
Yeah, Steve, you know what? I want to emphasize to our viewers that even though the BVI's performance attracted a lot of attention here in Kingston, your medal tally isn't really anything new. In 2019, you also won 7 medals. In 2017, you won 6 medals. In 2013, you won 8 medals. So BVI winning medals at the CARIFTA Games isn't exactly anything new. So I want you to talk to us about the structure of track and field in the British Virgin Islands and the kind of success that you've been having now for some time, not just 2022 in Kingston.
I'll definitely jump on that, but I don't want to miss 2 female athletes. We had a Chrissy Risti, Kayla Liebert in the 400-meter run. So definitely, you know, those are 2 goals that we figured would have perhaps grabbed a medal or 2. That was not the case. But once again, we have a few athletes on the team that definitely, under normal circumstances, would have definitely grabbed a few medals. But medaling at the CARIFTA Games, I mean, there have been years when the BVI didn't. It's been a long progression. As I made mention in my what do you call it, my preview or my Yeah, I'm looking at your video. In our showcasing of the CARIFTA team, we had Dean Grimray back in our early days that came out in the quarter mile and grabbed the first medal for the BVI. We've had the likes of Keita Klein and some others that have done well over the years at the CARIFTA Games. But medaling of the CARIFTA Games, we've had our off and on years. It's been a progression, but one of the things I'm really happy about is that we've continually progressed and progressed. We've had athletes who have made it on the regional scene, made it on the international scene. Those who've made it off to the D1 colleges, they've all come back home, and we have a really good coaching crew at home that works with our kids. The intensity of the training that our athletes undergo on the track is no different from, in our opinion, anywhere else. So we push our kids. We know what it takes. We're looking at things like nutrition and rest and recovery and all those different things that goes into making an athlete great. So in earlier years, we would have focused on just running. But now we're a little bit more focused and more in line with where we need to be if we're going to be competitive on a regional scene.
Yes, Steve, and of course the CARIFTA performance definitely commendable. How do you build on that moving forward?
Well, we don't sit on our laurels. It's competition, and competition is where it's at. We know that coming into Jamaica, and we know that it's not all said and done yet. We definitely have an aim as BVI, to put an athlete on the Olympic podium. You guys have done that several times over. We have yet to do that. We're very close, as I made mention earlier on in another interview that I did. But, it's simply back to the drawing board, working hard, getting these athletes to come out. And the fact of the matter is I had a discussion with past President Ray ONeal earlier today, and I also had another discussion with one of our coaches. And one of the good things about what's happening in the BVI is that we're giving these athletes a chance to physically go out there and see what regional competition is truly about. And for some, it will inspire, it will make them more eager, and they will get a better appreciation to what we speak about when we speak to them as coaches, as to what's out there. So a lot of times we reside in a small country, and you think that winning locally is where it's at. And this is why the CARIFTA Games is good for us, because it's regional competition at a very high level. And it gives our athletes, as in all athletes in the region, a fair chance to see what true regional competition is truly about. And when we sit and we talk with these kids about dedicating their time and their effort and giving 110% on the track, it's not just a matter of us saying that when they go to the CARIFTA Games or any other regional games and they see what other athletes from other countries are doing at the same age, it inspires them more, and they come back and they work harder. So the fact of the matter is, it's simply back to the drawing board for Team BVI. We're going to go back and continue to work with the kids. The CARIFTA Games would have done a lot for us, because some of our talents that are not necessarily into track and fields yet, they will come out, they will be inspired, and our numbers will continue to grow. So it's just a matter of putting in the work and being competitive. There's nothing better. There's no better feeling for athletes than knowing that they're on television and their home-based fans are at home cheering them on 110%. When we returned home, the appreciation that's felt upon our return by our local government or our general population, it's all well and good, and this is something that definitely inspires the kids. And, that's what we're truly about, changing lives through track and field. And if that means going professional, then so be it. If it means getting an education out of track and field, then let that be exactly what it is.
Right. How has the support been from the government and from corporate BVI?
So, government, they've always been there to pick the phones up when we call. I can't say anything negative about the way that they interacted and they worked with us. We had a number of issues to deal with going into the games and coming out of the games. Be it as it may, physically getting home. So, government definitely stepped up in aiding the association and making things happen for us. We know that we was going to attempt to take a very big team. Our athletes came out and they were all deserving of being there, whether they medaled or not. They were all deserving of being there. Government support has been tremendous. I must give them the credit there. And we hope that the support that they showed, and I don't want to just point out this year, but since we're speaking about this year, I will say this year that, it's continued for years to come. Corporate BVI, I don't think there's any member on the association, whether it's my General Secretary, Stephanie Raspen, my PRO, Cleve Farrington, my Treasurer, Will Stodman, my Vice President, Ralston, Grandfather Henry, or Chantel Scat, Chantel, who's with us, Assistant Secretary, sorry. I don't think the phone has stopped ringing for any one of us as far as corporate BVI seeking to assist BVI Athletics in becoming, bigger and better. So it's been pretty good upon our return, and we're definitely trying to ride this wave into World Under 20 and the Caribbean Games and World Championships and the Commonwealth Games. So we're definitely trying to hold on to the hype that's currently floating around, and hopefully we can do greater things in future games to come.
Yeah, Steve, you just mentioned Ray O'Neal, who was your British Virgin Islands Olympic Association president, also president of the BVI Athletics Association. He has given decades upon decades of tremendous service to BVI sport and the OECS overall. He must be very, very pleased with the direction that the track and field in BVI is going now.
Yeah, Ray is someone that has definitely mentored me along the way, a former athlete, myself. So I've known him from a student athlete and now as an administrator. I spoke to him up to today. He's someone that I speak with very regularly. He's someone that, he's very keen on keeping up with, who's out there and who's doing what. It's easier for me to give Ray a call and find out what our competition is like than it is for me to go on the internet. That takes time. Ray knows it. It's at the tip of his tongue, and this is something that he's done for years, and he's definitely an asset to us in the BVI, and I give him all the credit for, it was Ray O'Neal back in the day that really pushed and fought against the forces to make BVI athletics something to recognize, and we're simply just riding off of his hard work that he put in the earlier years.
Yeah, just before you go, though, a quick comment on Adeja Hodge. How good is she, and how far do you expect her to go?
Well, I think if you're asking me how good Adeja is, I think the videos and the performances and the awards speak for themselves. There's no real reason for me to try to underline that any more than it is. The reality is that she's definitely one to watch, definitely an upcoming athlete that's perhaps running in tandem with world champions and Olympic champions at her age, at least when they were her age. So, what's left for Adeja, that's entirely up to what, in this case, Ms. Hodge wants to achieve through track and field. She's one of those girls that's definitely inspired. She wants to compete. She's not afraid of competition, not afraid to put in the work. And, we're going to just let the book play out. And Adeja, and definitely want to watch in future years, and hopefully, showing up at those bigger championships and games in the later years to come is definitely something that the BVI Athletics Association and the BVI people gets accustomed to, because with the group of athletes that we have in the making,
yes,
Adeja, and there are many others. We have a few other Adejas here on Island, if you want to call it that. That's definitely going to be ones to look out for in the future.
Steve Augustine, great talking to you, and we'll be in touch with BVI's track and field progress, because we are very proud as Caribbean people to see athletes from the BVI surfacing in the way that they have been. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.